Okay, so this is supposed to record 1 second. Let me get rid of my background noise. This is a crazy thing that I figured out recently. Oh my god, it's too expensive though. I'm on a trial right now. Look, this is, where is that? No, okay. Ridiculous. Look, this is like literally ducking my background noise out right now. Real time. Insane, right? This is ridiculous. So yeah, this is so new for me. Okay, better actually. And I can use it this way. Ambience. So it's actually ducking everything out. Oh my god. Yeah, attenuate everything. So right now it's ducking everything out. That way you get to hear clean audio, and this is insane. This thing is like 300 bucks something. Oh my god, like I need this in my life so bad. Do you hear any background noise right now? Of course you don't hear, because this thing, whatever this is, I just started the trial yesterday. Ridiculous. Keep that in your mind. Well, in future you may actually need something like that if you travel, or if you're in a noisy apartment like me. Yeah, ridiculous, insane. Okay, let's get to the topic. So I wanted to do this. Oh my god, I hope I'm recording. Yes. So I wanted to do this with I wanted to demonstrate this whole thing on your vocals, on your own voice. So first, let's listen. So, so do you so when you look at the waveform, cat, look, some of the peaks you're gonna see some signals are loud, some signals are quiet. See, there's like some signals are like super quiet, some signals are loud, right? So limiter is really good for that. First of all, you can use the limiter to grab those peaks. That's mostly what we do all the time. Like that's like the most common use. You grab the peaks first, then you balance the rest of the signal with a compressor or with another limiter. That's up to you. But it's such a good idea to just, you know, tame those peaks first, because how are you going to balance the sound, right? First you want to just like turn down the big parts, right, the loud parts, and then you bring up the quietest parts. That's the only way you can balance the whole signal. And again, why do we want to balance the whole signal throughout the whole thing? Why do we want to do that? Because we want consistency. We want to make sure some words don't get lost. And if we don't do that, words are going to get lost. Some of the words are going to get lost and you're not going to be able to hear them. But the balance starts with taming the peaks. How can you tame peaks? First of all, you can tame the peaks with a clipper. Yep, you can use clipper. Or you can tame the peaks with a limiter. Exactly. Great. And you can tame those peaks with a compressor. So you got 3 tools to tame those peaks. Actually 4. Number 4, even more crazy. You can just tame those peaks with volume automation. So you got 4 ways to tame all those peaks, which is great. So which one are you gonna pick? I don't want to say it's up to you. I just want to give you the most common scenarios. So you can use a compressor, you can use the limiter. I don't recommend using clippers on vocals. You can use clippers for more punchy elements, for more drums, or more like percussive instruments. So you can use a clipper for that. But you wouldn't use a clipper on a pad sound, or you wouldn't use a clipper on vocals, because those are a little bit more sustained sounds. So when you look at the waveform, you're gonna keep seeing these sustained vibes. But if this was like a, let's say, drum percussion loop, now let me just show you like percussion loop. Oops. Yeah, any percussion. I'll just want to show. Actually, 1 second. Percussion loop. Okay, so let's just grab this book. Look at this. When you look at the signal, what do you see? Too many little punchy signals, right? This is, you can tell when you look at the waveform, you can actually tell, oh my God, this is like a percussive element. This is like a drums, or this is like percussion loop or something. Or this is like maybe a plucky instrument, plucky synthesizer or something. You can tell when you look at the waveform. But when you look at the waveform, when you look at this waveform, you can actually tell this is like a vocal signal. Because why? Where's the consistency? The length is different on each section. You have like short lengths, you have like long lengths, right? It's different each time. And the loudness, look at this, the variation, loudness, different. This one is loud, this part is loud, and this part is quiet. So when you look at the signal, you can already tell, oh my God, this is like a vocal signal. You can already tell. So vocal signals can really, really benefit from limiters. But if this was like a percussive signal, clippers do a better job. Just keep that in your mind in future. So limiters are a little bit more transparent, taming those peaks, which I'm going to show you right away. Finally, I got a microphone, and I got a microphone stand. So finally, my videos can be better. Oh my God, I've been waiting for so long to do this. Okay, let's get back to the topic. So we got the vocal signal, we delete the percussion loop. We have nothing to do with that. First, I want to put a limiter on this one. Again, why would I want to put a limiter? Because I want to eventually, I want to balance this, right? And we eliminate the compressor because that's another day's topic. We eliminate the clippers because that's for percussive instruments and and punchy instruments. And we eliminate vocal automation because that's not what you ask for. Vocal automation can also do something similar. We're just gonna do the limiter. So you've got one option right now. Because okay, so to apply limiter, first on the vocals you want to like tame the peaks, right? That's where you start getting the balance. You always tame the peaks first. Where is the peak? And then you bring up the rest of the signal up. That way you can literally balance the whole thing. But first we attack the peaks. So when you look at the signal, where do you think the peak is, the loudest point? Maybe here, maybe here, maybe here. Yeah, let's just loop this section. This looks like loud. I'll just loop that section. So look at this peak. This looks like a little peak here. So what I'm going to do, without even listening, I'm just going to put a loud max limiter. So loud max limiter is free. You can use any limiter. But I really like this one because it's super, easy. And it's so fast to load this, it's so transparent. So we're gonna put a brick wall limiter right now. Brick wall limiter is that I'm gonna tell the, pardon me. I'm gonna tell the limiter that, hey, if the signal reaches out at some point, you have to turn down the signal. That's what you're gonna do. I'm telling the limiter what to do. We call this brick wall. So click on link button. That way you take this and we drag this. But we don't know how much we're gonna drag yet. We don't know. We don't know how loud this peak is. So let's just watch what happens. I'm looping this section right now. So let's just watch what happens on the meters here. Look, this is like an input signal and output signal, right? So let's just watch what happens. One second. I wanna loop a better section, that's why. Kinda wanna loop this section. Okay. This is big. Okay, so now let's check. Actually, you know what? What am I doing? Let's just loop the whole section, okay. Look at this. So when you look at the signal, you see minus 18, you see like minus 24, something like that. So let's set up like a limit. That way nothing goes above like minus 20 or something. That way we can just control this peak, right? Because that looks like the loudest part. Okay. Or actually, you know what? Let's just make this a better example. I'm gonna increase the gain of the signal first, then demonstrate better, because then you're gonna be able to see it better, because this signal is like too quiet. Now check the limit. Look at this. So when I look at the signal, I can tell that, okay, let's just make sure that nothing passed through -15. So I click on the link button, I grab these both. So that way I set the threshold right here. And my output signal and my threshold is exactly the same, means nothing goes above this. Nothing is gonna go above this. Amazing. So -15, okay? Now check the ducking meter. So this meter is showing you that how much you're ducking. Let's see. Amazing. How much did you duck that part? That was the loudest part. How much do you think you were ducking? 4 dB. Almost 4 dB. This is amazing. So you duck 4 dB. And do you hear any difference? You can AB, you can turn it off, turn it on. Okay, so what I did, I tamed those peaks and I made sure, like, I don't hear any difference. You hear exactly the same thing. It's transparent and you're able to duck like 4 dB. This is great. So if I just go ahead, record this signal, you're gonna see like if I was able to duck it or not. So I'm just gonna record this signal. I will start resampling. Now this is gonna play and let's see. Let's see what we got. So the level can look a little bit different here, but just because Ableton records the mono signals like stereo, just because of that. But are you able to see, like, look at this. Look at this. I was able to tame these stuff. Look at this. If you just look more closer, do you see this? Like literally shave off the whole thing. Actually, 1 second. Yeah, I was literally shaving off the whole thing. Look, it's more shaved off. If you look at this one, this has more variations. It's shaved off. And I was able to shave off this one. Do you see? Look, I shaved it off. So now I got a more balanced signal. Now let's get rid of this, because now you know how you were able to tame the 4 dB. So you literally duck it down 4 dB. Great. So this is like a peak controlling limiter. After this, what you can do, you can just put another loud max. You can just put a second one. I do this a lot lately, just because it's fast and I don't have to deal with all that crazy stuff. It's just super fast. Or you know what you can do? You can just duplicate the same limiter, just duplicate, just put another one. And now I'm gonna, okay, now I'm gonna see on the meter. So second limiter, you don't see any ducking, right? Why do you think so? It's because I was already ducking in the first one. The second one, you don't see any ducking. It's normal because I already control those peaks. Nothing goes above -15, which is great. So my loudest part is now -15. So how can I bring up the quiet parts now? How do I do that? Click on unlink button, this link, click on it, and you're gonna drag down the threshold. This time, you're telling your limiter that, hey, limiter, I want you to squash the rest of the signal and bring it up to -15. I want my output to be -15, but the rest of the quiet signals, limiter, I want you to bring those up to me. Now I'm gonna go play this audio and see where is my quietest parts. I'm just gonna look at the meter here. Here. So I'll drag it down. Okay, looks like it's around here, so I'll just drag this down here because it looks like that's the quietest part, right? This is incredible. So what I did, the second limiter is that I'm bringing up the quietest parts. I'm literally squashing the signal. So the first one, I was grabbing the peaks. The reason we want to do it like at two steps, this is like such a pro style that you need to, I mean, just do it like a pro, you know, like why would you like spend your time like a beginner? Like you already are a great recording artist. Just do it like a pro. Do it like how pros do it. Pros do it this way. First, they grab the peaks. And second, they squash the rest of the signal. Now check this. Beautiful. So you know you get the idea. First, we did the peak controlling, then we squash the rest of the signal. Now I'm just gonna record this audio. That way you can see what we're doing. Okay, I'll just set it like a resampling. Oops, resampling. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now I want you to check this new signal I've got. Look at this. Look at this consistency. Now you get the consistency now, right? Look at this consistency. So again, on Ableton, unfortunately, Ableton just wants to print it like a stereo, but it's exactly the same thing, so don't worry about it. But now you know that, you got a more consistent signal. When you look at the signal, which one is more consistent? Which one is more squashed? And guess what? You can actually squash this a little bit more. You have more to squash a little bit more. You can actually do it more. This one is all over the place. Means some of the words are gonna get lost, or it's just better to limit it a little bit so that way everything can sound even. This one is squashed, and you can even squash more. Put another loud max, right? I'm gonna solo this second one, the latest one that we did. I'm just gonna check on my limiter. Where's my loudest again? It's probably -15 because we already did it. Yeah, let's see. Great. So now let's, oops, -15, actually, 1 second. We take it to -15, right? Okay, so we squashed it, we got all this nice stuff. So I'm gonna click on link button. So I wanna unlink it. That way they can just move independently. Because when you're squashing, you just wanna click on the unlink the whole thing. So that way you can actually squash the rest of the signal. So now I'm just gonna squash it even more, look. Great. Now let's just record this. Let's just record this. Resample. And okay. Okay. So since I'm not a Logic user, I don't know if this is making sense, but now if you just look at the waveform, I've got even more consistency. Look at this. I squashed these two. Look, I squash more. I squash more. And now I've got even more stable signal. And this one won't get lost in the mix because it's stable. It's stable, so it's not gonna get lost. So you can squash it even more, or you can just put like maybe like a compressor if you want, but I guess this is good, so it's not gonna get lost. But do you see, like, we're like literally shaving the whole thing. So now when you look at these like three waveforms, like this one is like, you know, you have peaks, and this one is more stable, and this one I squashed a little bit more. So what happens when you squash a little bit more, the waveform gets a little bit more fat. And this is how we get present vocals, because now we limited them and we made them more consistent. Now the waveform is fat. Now you can easily bring up this waveform. You can easily increase the volume of it, and that way you can get your vocal loudness this way. This is the trick. Again, this is the pro trick. Pro way. Or you can waste your time with a bunch of compressors to get the same results. But I kind of recommend just jump into the limiter. Just start playing with the limiters, especially the loud max. Oh my god, this thing is so good. One thing you need to know about limiters, especially when you're limiting the vocals, you should know that you're gonna bring up those S's. So the limiter, when you apply those limiter, you're bringing up those S's. You should know that this is gonna happen. So I mean, we can't avoid it because it's a quiet S, and it's just gonna be up. So what do? We put like a de-essers and all that stuff. I mean, this is just like the one type of, I mean, this is how you get the balance, and then you do the rest by fixing the S's, by if you need to tame a little bit more stuff, you can do it. But this is how you get like really consistent and uncolored sound, because if you put a compressor is going to put a color on it. Maybe, I mean, modern music, I think they do like the combination of compressors and limiters, but you know, this is how you get the same thing without putting any color on it. Okay, so I'll stop the video now, but you get the idea, right? This is what we do. Okay, all right, see you.